locked in.
Look at what we have here, folks.
To the only show that matters.
The cream of the crop.
Duke loves wrestling.
And there is no one that does it better than
your host.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
The Duke.
And I'm all out of bubblegum.
You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, woo, wheeling.
Do you notice your mic's off?
No, I can't hear myself.
You know why your mic is off? Because I have to ask you one question before we start. How about them Cowboys?
Oh, my God. You know, we got to do that over.
No. That's staying in. I'm leaving that in.
Are we really going to open
Answer
the show
the question.
with this garbage?
How about them Cowboys? Do it. Say it. Say it.
What about my Cowboys?
Exactly. What about your Cowboys?
Are
they playing golf yet, you think? Or you think a couple days off to recover?
Is this a pro wrestling show or is this a football show?
No, this is a show about how you like to shoot your mouth off. And all year, and usually about wrestling, obviously, on the show.
God.
But all year, I've had to watch and listen to you yap about the Cowboys. Now they're going to the Super Bowl and they're going to win. And now what happened? You know what happened? The saddest of all things happened. They gave up.
Oh, my goodness.
They gave up.
You know,
they gave up and lost to the Green Bay Packers of all teams. The Green Bay Packers. When were they last relevant? The late 90s?
All right. You know, you keep this up, I'm going to pull the plug here. All right.
I get my hand. I'm controlling the buttons.
Yeah. I didn't come here today for you to rub salt in a wound that's still open. All right?
Just wait till we get to the rest of the show. I got plenty of salt.
I'm still upset about my Dallas Cowboys losing. I'm not happy about the coaching staff. I'm not happy about the defense giving up. I'm not happy with the owner.
This is the world's smallest violin.
Okay?
Playing for you.
Just want to put that out there. And whatever, Green Bay Packers. Give me a break. Folks, welcome back to Duke Loves Wrestling.
Other than that, Mrs. Lincoln, how'd you like the play?
Welcome
back to, I'm going to ignore the fact that I have my foot in my mouth.
Yeah.
No, continue, please.
Whatever, wise guy. I am the Duke. And yes, I do normally enjoy doing pro wrestling impersonations, no matter what my illustrious co-host, the Boston Bad Boy, said, but he's being an obstructionist today to start the show.
Well, I'm just giving the people what they want, which is less of your horrible impressions.
Give me a break.
And more busting of your chops about bad football fandoms.
All right, enough with the football crap. What's it like being trained by Seth Rolins? Well, you're going to find out today, folks, because we have up-and-coming indie wrestler Bryan Austin Knight. He's going to join us for this episode. We also have more of your listener-submitted questions, a.k.a. Ask Duke. All that plus Run the Ropes. But before we get to any of that, I want to thank you. That's right, you, the loyal listeners of Duke Loves Wrestling. Thanks for tuning in on iTunes and other podcast apps. Thanks for sending me messages on Twitter and Facebook at Duke Loves Wrestling. Quick reminder, all of our shows are archived on the YouTube channel. So if you missed any previous episodes, just type in Duke Loves Wrestling and hit the subscribe button while you're at it. Keep sending us your support, and we'll keep bringing you top-notch pro wrestling audio entertainment. Jack. It's time to run the ropes. I give my opinion on the top 5 stories in the world of professional wrestling. Let's go. Kurt Angle returning to the WWE. Stop the presses. That's right, folks. According to SI.com, that's Sports Illustrated, by the way, and as seen on WWE Raw, Olympic gold medalist and 13-time world champion Kurt Angle, he will be inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame at WrestleMania this year. Now, personally, I am elated about this new development because Kurt absolutely deserves the honor. With that said, though, I am concerned. Okay? I'm concerned about the possibility of Kurt returning to wrestle in the WWE, and I hope that doesn't happen. I mean, 1 or 2 matches here and there, that would be okay, but please don't put Kurt in any kind of regular schedule or even a part-time schedule. He has some issues in the past with substance abuse, and according to Kurt, he's been clean for the past 4 years. So putting him in a position where he's going to beat up his body again, I mean, you're really just setting him up to fail, folks. Please. Be careful, WWE. With that said, though, I don't want to end this on a negative note. Congratulations, Kurt, on your Hall of Fame nomination, and can't wait to see him.
Can I just jump in here for a second?
Sure.
So this is like the cavalcade of the stars, the WWE's of the old timey guys they're bringing out. Anybody who, it's almost like whoever has legs they can stand on. Goldberg, now Kurt Angle.
I know.
Who's next?
I know.
Who's next?
It's amazing.
Is there anybody left? Is there anybody that's should be and is retired that they're going to drag back in? Hogan?
Well, they've already done that with him. But I mean,
again?
Coming back again, it's very possible. Hulk Hogan will probably be back in the WWE this year. I know.
It's amazing.
AJ Styles robbed. Yeah, according to IWNerd.com, WWE World Champion AJ Styles had his backpack full of valuables stolen. It was stolen while he was at a WWE live event in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Now, some of the stolen items include a small TV, an Xbox games, headphones, a whole lot more. This is sad, man. I mean, what the heck is security doing where they're not watching the valuables?
No, you're burying the lead here. What is a grown man doing carrying around a backpack full of his little toys? What is that?
I'm going to tell you something.
What is that? A tiny TV? What is it? A Sony Walkman?
Well, so
a Watchman?
No, so he can play his video games on it. This is a big deal. You know what?
A backpack?
I'm going to tell you something.
Was it a My Little Pony backpack?
Give me a break. But I'm going to tell you something. Seriously. The reason why there's been less substance abuse in pro wrestling is because the wrestlers are playing video games.
So they're addicted to video games instead.
At the end of the matches, they go to their hotel rooms or what have you, and they're playing video games
sure
instead of staying up all night partying and doing drugs and doing all that stuff. But that thieving bastard, whoever you are, give him back his stuff.
Let me tell you something. Pac-Man was around when Ric Flair was big.
Sure.
He was not interested in video games, and neither of these guys.
You're a piece of work. Smith Hart's life celebration is happening this Saturday. That's right, folks. According to his personal Facebook page, and as stated last week on the Duke Loves Rasslin show, Smith Hart, one of Stu Hart's many sons and brother to Bret Hart, he's been given 1 year to live. Now, fortunate for him, he was given a heads up. So instead of wallowing in self-pity, he's actually going to celebrate his life while he still can. He's inviting his friends and his fans. Come on down to Spiro's in Calgary. That's happening this Saturday, January 21st. If you're interested, please reach out to Smith Hart on his personal Facebook page and let him know because I got to get a head count. But our best to the entire Hart family. This is really a special thing to do where the guy, he's going to get his flowers while he's still alive, which is pretty cool.
And that makes the most sense.
It does.
I went to a wake recently, and it was the setup was unbelievable. And it's like, wow, they really would have enjoyed this.
Imagine if the person could have seen that.
So when I die,
yes,
or if I know I'm going to die, I want you to prop me up somewhere where I'm still with it. A big party, flowers not so much, but big party. And then once I finally go, just push me off a cliff or something. Sure. Just the body.
I like the fact that you know that I'm going to live longer than you. That's important. Because with your mouth, you're going to get yourself in a lot of trouble.
Don't worry. If you die ahead of me, it'll be with my hands around your throat.
La Luchadora has been unmasked. Yes, folks, as seen on SmackDown Live, La Luchadora has been unmasked to reveal former WWE Women's Champion Mickie James. Now, Mickie had been in TNA for the past 7 years, and she's a multi-time TNA Knockouts champion. She returned to WWE last year where she wrestled Asuka for the NXT Women's Championship, but now she's on SmackDown Live, and she's with Alexa Bliss. Okay? Now, they beat the stuffing out of that no good, you know what? I'm talking about Becky Lynch. You know I can't stand her. But I will have to say this. Alexa Bliss, don't trust Mickie James because she has a history of turning on her friends, okay? So keep an eye on that Mickie James because she's kind of no good in her own right. Nonetheless, I'm glad they beat up Becky Lynch. It's always great to see that. And Alexa Bliss is still the SmackDown Women's Champion, thank goodness. Michael Cole to focus on a backstage role. Yes, according to the Yahoo News, WWE lead announcer Michael Cole will transition off camera and he's going to focus on his backstage role with the company. Now, most only know Cole for his announcing duties, when in fact, he's one of the main trainers for all of the WWE announcing staff. Now, personally,
I think it's time for Michael Cole to get off TV. He just doesn't seem to be as passionate as he used to be. And let's face it, Mauro Ranallo over there on SmackDown, he's just absolutely doing a great job, and he looks like he's ready to pick up the ball and run with it. So, when will Cole be gone? Probably after WrestleMania. But stay tuned because this is a developing story here.
You know, this made me think of something completely off topic. I was reading an article today and found out that Wink Martindale is still alive.
Are you
Wink
kidding?
Martindale?
Yeah, of course.
Host
The
of
legend.
many game
Yeah,
shows, and
yeah,
also
great
had
host.
a top 10 Billboard recording in the 60s, like a spoken word thing.
That I didn't know. Wow.
But talk about a voice.
Yeah, he was the best. Well, Michael Cole is no Wink Martindale, I'll tell you that much.
Well, not many are.
You've heard what I think. Well, what do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you think I'm a jerk? Let me know. Reach out to Duke Loves Rasslin on Twitter and on Facebook. Up next, Mr. Bryan Austin Knight.
This is the pastor of wrestling, Kevin West, and I'm listening to Duke Love Wrestling.
Folks, some of the more frequent questions we often get from you listeners is, how do you break into the wrestling business? And what is training like? This is why we've had everyone on this show, from a world-class trainer like Rudy Boy Gonzalez all the way down to folks who are at the tail end of their training like Alexa and Brianna, a.k.a. Sugar and Spice. The point is to provide various perspectives in order to better inform anyone out there who wants to become a pro wrestler in the modern day. Continuing on this theme, we have an indie wrestler who got his start being trained by some of the biggest names of the past decade, and that includes Eugene and even Seth Rolins. Folks, say hello to Bryan Austin Knight. Bryan, how are you, brother?
I'm doing good, Duke. How are you?
I'm very well. Listen, we watch Seth Rollins on TV every week, okay? We see how he is.
Okay.
Now, this guy has gone on record numerous times pointing out how miserable he is. He's a miserable son of a gun in real life. And for that reason, that's why he prefers to work as a heel. So you're a guy who spent some time with him. Let us know here. Is he really miserable, or is that just a gimmick?
How miserable can it be when you're in the WWE, you know? I mean, he's living his dream. He's on the road a lot for sure, and I know he misses his family and his friends at home. But, I mean, he's living his dream, and he's doing a lot to help the next generation, so he can't be that miserable.
Ah, okay. So it's part of the gimmick, basically.
I think there's some truth to it, but also a lot of gimmick.
I hear you. Now, listen, what is the most challenging thing about trying to break into the wrestling business today?
For me, it was definitely finances, you know, trying to build enough money to train. I think that held me back for a few years, but I think that's also the first step in becoming a wrestler. Like, do you have what it takes? Are you going to do whatever it takes to get that money so you can go train?
Would you say that it's important for folks to save up some bucks maybe a year or two in advance before they enter into a wrestling school?
Yeah, definitely. And do your research. Pick a good school. Pick somewhere you want to go, somewhere you'll feel comfortable, because they're all over the country.
That's the
find them
truth.
if you're looking.
That's the truth. What made you decide to go to Seth Rollins' school?
I was listening to his podcast on Talk is Jericho is actually when I decided. I was planning on going to WWA4 in Atlanta, and I actually did a week-long camp. That's where I did my first training with Mr. Hughes, and he's a great trainer. I don't think he gets enough credit. He's brought up Moose and a bunch of other guys, A.R. Fox, and he's trained some great guys. But then I heard Rollins on Talk is Jericho, and something in my mind was just like, this is where I belong. This is where I got to go. So I applied for the school that night. Over the next few weeks, I got accepted.
Wow. And listen, shout out to Curtis the Big Cat Hughes, a.k.a. Mr. Hughes. Yeah, you know, he is somebody who's really been doing a great job the past decade or so training folks and getting them, you know, really finishing them so they can move on to the next level and wrestle out there. And he was a great character in his own right when he was mostly an active wrestler there. So shout out to Mr. Hughes. Is it possible to work a full-time job and train to become a pro wrestler?
It's definitely possible. It's not easy. You won't sleep as much as you want to, but it's definitely possible.
Now, who are some of the other folks who were at first of all, what's the name of Seth Rollins Wrestling School, and who are some of the trainers there?
Seth Rolins' school is the Black and the Brave Wrestling Academy, which is kind of giving homage to his tag team when he was on the Indy scene. He was titled Black and his tag team partner, Marek Brave. And Marek Brave is actually the head trainer of Black and Brave. And usually on interviews, I'll talk about Rollins and how amazing he is and how hard of a worker he is, because he really is the hardest working I've ever seen. But Marek Brave does not get enough credit. Like, he's there every single day. He's the one that's training these guys when Rollins can't be there, and he puts in so much work, and he produces great guys, and he doesn't get enough credit.
That's interesting. So it's Marek Brave. He's the one that's actually taking the bumps with you guys there?
Yeah, he's the head trainer, and when Rollins is there, when he's not on the road, he's obviously giving a lot of advice and doing what he can. But Rollins can't be there every day, obviously.
Wow, I hear that. I hear that. Now, listen, we hear a lot about folks who show up to wrestling schools, you know, big, jacked up athletes thinking that they're going to set the world on fire. And then they literally, within the first day, they quit and they don't come back. What is it about showing up to a wrestling school and doing a tryout or what have you? What is it that makes so many people quit? And do you have any advice on how to stick around, how to make it past that first day?
I think, in my opinion, the guys who quit are the guys who don't have the heart and don't have the passion that you need. 'Cause my first day training, it was horrible, miserable. And it takes a lot of heart, and it's just hard to get through it. But if you want it bad enough, you'll get through it, no matter how good or bad of shape you're in. You'll get through it if you have the heart. So you just got to want it bad enough.
I hear that. I hear that. Listen, how important is it to watch older wrestling matches and study tape and what have you? Is that part of your training as well, or is that something that's really old school?
No, it's still very important. I like to watch some Wes Kellett matches all the time on the old world of sport. It's one of my favorite older wrestlers. I watch 50 stuff, 60 stuff. That's where it all came from, you know? That's where you can go to say, this is how the psychology began. And as you go to the 60s, 70s, 80s, you can see it evolve into what it is today.
Wow. You know, you really took me by surprise there with that response. Folks, when we talk about world of sport, that was a television program that was based out of the UK, where they would literally, for decades, they'd put on some of the best wrestling matches around and what have you. And in fact, they just had a recent rebirth where Jim Ross went over to the UK and taped a program, a World of Sport program that was just aired back in late December there, and this talk of keeping it going. So that's interesting that growing up and even as you were training, you were watching World of Sport. That's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So do you view the wrestling matches differently now that you actually are a wrestler compared to when you were just a fan watching? Like, are you able to continue to suspend belief in what have you there?
I view them totally different now because I know how the matches are put together. I mean, you can look and see how a lot of things are done as a fan, but after you train, it just opens up so many things to you. And there's a lot of things you don't realize. And now when I watch matches, it's to pick out how they're doing certain things so I can duplicate them in the future if I need to, and not just as a fan to see what's entertaining.
Do you think you still enjoy wrestling? I mean, do you think knowing too much, like anything, I think that, you know, once an actor, is in a movie, let's say, they say, oh, I never watched the movie, or because it's too self-critical. Can you still enjoy it as a spectator?
Yeah, I still enjoy it. It's different, of course, because it's like my career now and not something I do for fun.
Right.
But yeah, you're right. There's a lot of people who don't enjoy after they train. One thing that Marek Brave said to all of us was, please don't let training make you hate wrestling, because he's seen it so many times.
Well, I mean, you really need to enjoy what you're doing, right? I mean, you need to, it's one thing to be a fan to get into it, but then to get into it and then now you're not a fan, what's the point? You know, you need to retain being a fan. I think that's hugely important with anything, but especially something wrestling with there's sort of a diverse set of skills you need to bring to it.
Definitely. If you don't love it, you won't make it, like I said earlier.
No, that makes sense. Now tell us the truth there. Are you getting extra dates and what have you now that you're this big shot wrestler here? Come on, you can level us. It's just us here and the rest
Duke
of our
wants to know because he hasn't gotten any extra dates from doing this podcast, so he wants to know if someone's getting something out of the wrestling industry.
I have a girlfriend who I'm very happy with, so I'm not looking for dates right now. But, you know, the opportunity's out there. necessary, but it's not.
That was very diplomatic.
I know.
That was
yeah,
great.
he's
That was
smart.
a perfect answer.
He doesn't want to get himself in trouble. What's your girlfriend's name?
Her name is Sky.
Sky. Shout out to Sky.
It's a great name.
That's right. That's right. Now listen, we had the Maverick Moonshine Mantell. We had him on the show a couple weeks back there, and he's a guy that's really been tearing up the indie scene lately. And you know, a lot of folks expect to see him in the WWE in the not too distant future. Now, it's under my understanding there that you actually have crossed paths with Moonshine a few times. Is that correct?
Yeah, I met him once right after I graduated from the Black and Brave Wrestling Academy. I went to Harley Race's wrestling camp, which was a week-long camp. It had some Japanese guys, Haruki Goto, Naomichi Marufuji, and it had Tom Pritchard and Ric Flair. And, of course, Harley Race was there because he owns it. And Moonshine was there, and I met him there. And he's a real nice guy. I heard him on the podcast the other day. But I had a problem with something he said on the podcast.
Uh-oh. Wait a second. You had a problem with something that Moonshine said?
I did. He's a nice guy, but I think he's got some heat with me right now.
Well, what kind of heat? What happened there?
So on your podcast, Moonshine, or Maverick, whatever he's going by now, made a comment about 170-pound guys who are going there and play fighting. Now, I've got a bit of a problem with that because what I do is definitely not play fighting. I'm a third-degree black belt in Taekwondo. I've been in jiu-jitsu tournaments, and I've got third place with guys 20 pounds heavier than me. I was trained by Seth Rolins, Marek Brave, Nick Dinsmore. What I do is far from play fighting. And if he has a problem with my weight, I'm not hard to find.
Whoa, Moonshine Mantell. Listen, Maverick, you better watch out here because you're being called out by Bryan Austin Knight. Wow. Well, you know what? Since you're in that realm right now, since you're pumped up, I got to bring something up.
All right, what's that?
Now watch out. He's a black belt.
I know.
You heard the man. He's a black belt.
He's a black belt. So I got to be careful what I say.
I'm not getting involved.
Well,
anything Duke says does not reflect my opinion. I want you to know it.
Well, hey, I can hopefully get you to help me out with something here. There's a guy that your trainer Seth Rolins is very close to. Okay.
Okay.
A guy who is my arch nemesis. Okay. A guy who is nothing more than a pumped up, nothing happening, overstuffed punk from the gym. Okay. I'm talking about that no good Roman Reigns. All right. So please tell the world, since you've done Taekwondo and you're a black belt and you don't mess around, tell the world that you're going to go and settle that punk Roman Reigns for the Duke. Tell them right now, please. Come on.
All right, Duke. Here's the deal. Roman Reigns may not be popular with fans.
That's right.
And that's not his fault. Roman Reigns is a very talented guy. Very talented guy. I mean, look at what he does. That Superman punch is amazing. That spear would break you in half, man. You don't want to take that. That drive-by is pretty awesome. And so what if he only has 5 moves? That's because he's in the WWE.
That's right.
What they want. That's what
right.
they want from him, man.
Well, it's like when you go to a restaurant, right? And it's your favorite restaurant. You don't mess around ordering something you've never had before. You use what works.
Oh my God.
And Duke, when are you going to give it up? When are you going to give this up?
You know,
I mean, you're like 0 for 10 here with this Roman Reigns thing. And I think it's going to take Roman Reigns to come down here and remove your arms from your shoulders just to end this. And I'm going to extend the invitation right now because it's starting to wear on me a little bit.
This is ridiculous. Listen, I'm going to tell you something right now, Bryan Austin Knight. You got the wrong attitude, pal. Okay, I didn't invite you onto this show. Okay, you were doing so fine before then, but I didn't invite you onto this show to have the audacity.
Oh, here we go. The audacity
to stick up for that no good punk Roman Reigns. And you know something? I got a feeling that the next match that you have, I think you're going to lose.
Oh,
because you got your head on the wrong way, pal. You don't have it on straight. I'm just going to, I don't mean to start any trouble, but I got to tell you.
Brian, can you lay him out, please, like verbally, and then come and do it physically?
Oh, my God.
Oh, I think I can do that. Got a question for you. Why did you invite me onto the show? Was it just to humiliate me? Was it just asking a bunch of questions and expect me to give whatever answers you wanted?
Oh, hey.
I am tired of not being respected. I am tired of being told I'm not good enough, and I think you're doing the same thing they all do, man. And when I have a problem, one thing you learn about me is that I will take care of that problem.
Just remember, Boston Bad Boy, Iron Mike Pelosi, does not condone anything that the Duke says, and I'll pick you up at the airport.
Listen, hold on. Time out. Time out. Listen, Brian Austin Knight, I'm gonna just let you know something here, brother. I will sue. Okay? If you put your hands on me, I got a great lawyer by the name of Perry Mason. I will get him involved here. Okay? I'm just putting that out
Perry
there.
Mason's a television attorney.
Well, if
And
I
he's
pay
dead
him,
now.
well,
Why don't you get Matlock while
I'll
you're at
bring
it?
him back. I'm just telling you, man. I'm not a fighter. I don't want any problems with you Taekwondo and all that stuff. I'm just saying. All right, Jesus. What? I mean, this is like a hazard here. All right. If let me move on before I get myself in any more trouble.
Too late.
If bookers want to get in touch with you, what's the best way for bookers to reach out to you so they can have you on their wrestling shows?
The best way for bookers is you can email me at brianaustinnight@gmail.com, or you can also DM me on Twitter, and that's @RealBAKnight.
Cool. And if fans want to reach out to you and give you the business for threatening me on my show.
Or congratulating you.
Oh, my goodness. How can they get in touch with you there?
Fans can also use Twitter at RealBAKnight, RealBANIGHT, or Instagram and Snapchat are the same, RealBAKnight, and I have a Facebook page under Brian Austin Knight. The thing about Facebook is they make you use your real name, and apparently Knight is not allowed to be a real name, so it's spelled NIQHT on Facebook.
What? That's the most insane. First of all,
It's ridiculous,
Facebook's completely
I know.
ridiculous and insane, and that is the most insane thing I've ever heard. So you're saying Knight, NIGHT, you cannot have that as your name.
That cannot be your last name according to Facebook.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, this is what happens when you stick up for Roman Reigns. I'm just saying.
Right.
I'm just saying. Brian Austin Knight, you've been taught by some of the biggest stars in the wrestling business. We'll have you back on the Duke Loves Wrestling podcast sometime in the not-too-distant future, and hopefully, please don't beat me up.
If you want to become a problem with me, I will get right over to Boston right now and kick your head off your shoulders.
Wow, you're in for it, Duke.
Jeez. Folks, up next, the Boston Bad Boy has more of your listener-submitted questions, a.k.a. Ask Duke. I'm a little frazzled. Excuse me.
Yeah, you need a glass of water?
I know. I need something here. My goodness.
The five-fingered death walk he's going to give you with that, from Kill Bill.
I don't need karate people after me right now. Just give me a break.
Well, keep your mouth shut then. How about that?
I may have to. But before we get into any of that, folks, if you're going to be in the Orlando area for WrestleMania weekend, and hopefully Brian Austin Knight won't be around there, join the Boston Bad Boy and I at the Something to Wrestle With Bruce Pritchard and Conrad Thompson live special event. Now, this is going down Saturday, April 1st at the back booth, 37 West Pine Street in Orlando. There's no telling what guests are going to be in the building. I hear that some people, some active wrestlers are going to be there.
Ooh.
Having a good time.
Ooh, little secret something going on.
Something going on. Something going on.
Gotta be in town.
And it will not be recorded, so you won't get to see what happened. I don't even think they're going to even allow pictures.
Be there or be square.
Be there or be square, okay? Check it out at notarib.com for more info. Enjoy.
This is Alexa. And this is Brianna. And we're Sugar and Spice. And you're listening to Duke Loves Wrestling.
Man, how about that Brian Austin Knight, huh?
Oh, I can't wait for him to karate chop you right in the face.
I don't really appreciate these guys threatening me. They don't realize I will sue.
You know what you're going to appreciate even less? I just couldn't resist it because we got a phone call here in the studio.
Oh, my God.
And given your behavior the past week when it comes to professionals...
Is it Airman Grove?
You wish it was Airman Grove. Are you there? Are you there, Porter?
It's funny. There's no way I couldn't come here and just ask you this one simple question, dude. You ready?
Is that Lovell Porter?
The one and only. Yeah, I got a question for you. You ready? You ready?
No.
You listening?
No.
Okay. So, how about them Packers?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
You know, it's funny. I could give a about football. I really don't care. But nothing is funnier to me than Duke having to put his foot in his mouth and running his mouth constantly about Dallas and then getting their asses handed to them.
Give me a break.
Listen, I don't know what the heck Dallas was doing, but I swear to you, it was like Vince Russo was calling the plays.
Oh, my God.
It's like, listen up, bro. Instead of we're going to do a Super Bowl tickets on a pole match. No, it's fourth down. Shouldn't we kick it? No, Super Bowl tickets on a pole match.
Give me a break.
I've played games of Tecmo Bowl that were more thought out and football strong and defensively strong than that game.
The both of you are really being disgraceful right now. I just want to point this out. Okay, it's not gentlemanly to kick a man when he's down.
Kick a man when he's down. It's
Okay.
like you're just mad because freaking Mason Crosby threw the damn Cowboys out of Super Bowl contention. Like Undertaker threw mankind off the cage. King of the ring.
Texas will rise again.
Oh, please. You know what? You guys are a piece of work here. And I just want to say this once and for all. I'm taking you off my Hanukkah list, okay? That's it.
Oh, boy.
You're not getting a Hanukkah
I'm sure he's really upset about that as he's laughing at the Super Bowl party.
This is what I'm saying. As long as I get the Stroker Lombardi trophy, I'm good.
Oh, whatever.
We should
the Hanukkah list, the Christmas list, whatever you got.
Lovell, a Lombardi trophy made of cheese would be a gift that gives the whole year round.
You guys
And I'll
are
give you
piece of
Duke's address. You can send it right to him.
You know what?
Oh, I'm all for it.
Look, his name is Lovell Porter from Remember to Hit Record and WrestleZone.com. He used to be a friend of the show, but I'm going to excommunicate this guy.
You call me anytime you want. I'll put you on.
Give me a break.
You know what, Mike? We're here.
That's right.
You can't see me, but I'm pointing out my eyes.
All right. That's enough of this love fest. Goodbye, Porter.
Boy, nice of him to call in, wasn't it?
Yeah, nice of me to hang up on him. This guy's I can't believe you just allowed that to happen.
Allow it to happen is sort of an understatement. I made it happen. Because you're obsessed with this whole football thing. I mean, I know that you love wrestling, but the football thing is the scary part, actually.
Listen.
Because you just run your mouth about
God.
football, about Dallas. I know you hate the New England Patriots.
I do. The Patriot cheats.
Yes,
Get it
exactly.
Right. Patriot cheats.
I love you. Go out of your way
Thomas
to write
Bunchen and the crew.
Yeah. And listen, I have no love for any NFL franchise team, but I think you're one step away from saying it's still real to me.
Oh my gosh! You know what?
Speaking of that, we're being followed, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Mr. It's Still Real to Me, damn it, is following Duke Loves Rasslin. You know what? We should get him on the show.
Absolutely, because a coworker of mine didn't know, hadn't seen that.
Oh,
and I made him watch it, and he's like, "Come on!" And I'm like, "No, that is 100% legit.
That's right.
That's right. That is passion. That is real.
That's right.
And it's still real to me.
Hey.
It really is. It's still real to me is sort of like, it's a mantra.
It is.
It applies to so many things in life.
Well, when you really care about something.
Right. It's like the spirit of Christmas, right?
Yes.
We can debate all day long whether Santa Claus is real or not. Doesn't matter. It's still real to me.
Still real.
The spirit of Christmas, that's what we're talking about.
Shout out to Still Real to Me, Dave. Dave, I know you're listening, brother. We'll get you on the show sometime.
I mean, that's maybe the biggest celebrity we've had on the show.
It's pretty huge.
Or had following us.
I'm telling you. Well, Peter Vessey's not. And by the way, folks, to answer your question.
Yeah, there were some questions about Vesey.
No, Peter Vessey does not hate me. He just can't stand me. But he can't stand most people. So that's okay.
True. Right. I don't hate you. I can't stand you either.
Well, that's it.
And but I don't hate you.
Well, people were very concerned. Well, why does Peter Vessey hate you?
See,
he doesn't hate
by
me.
saying Peter Vessey hates you means he cares enough to hate you.
Exactly.
There's no way that man
he does
puts
not care
any
enough for
effort
that.
into hating you.
No way.
I'm sure there are people clearly he does hate.
Yeah.
In the Hall of Fame, maybe.
Absolutely.
You are such a pittance.
I'm nowhere
on the
near
scale.
It. It's funny. I posted a message to him on Twitter, and we were talking about LeBron James leaving my Miami Heat.
Okay.
And I said I'm not happy with LeBron for doing that, and I won't cheer for him because of that. But I'm also upset with Miami Heat for what they did to Dwayne Wade. Peter Vessey says to me, "I hate fans." That was his response. That's it.
It's all business.
It's all business.
That's his business.
It's all business.
Fans are meddling in his business. This is a man's business.
Yep.
And you're meddling in it.
Meddling. So that,
That's funny.
And that was it.
Well, that really speaks to what he talked about in his hatred of Shaq and the guys doing the TV show.
Yep.
Because now,
TNT,
think about it. They're now fans, right? I mean, they're just bullshitting.
Yep.
Like fans.
Yep.
And it's obnoxious because they're supposed to be professionals.
Exactly. And he suffers fools, as he said. So.
Yeah, he hates you, or let's see, let me hate Duke, or let me laugh all the way to the bank, cashing my Nike Air Jordan check.
Yeah, I'm sure I'm not even on his mind. But shout out to Peter Vessey, and folks, you can listen to last week's show. The Hall of Famer Peter Vessey came on, and boy, he had, talk about sound bites.
Oh, yeah. We might have to turn some of those sound bites into some breakers or something.
Oh, he's happy to get me off of his bandwagon. That was the best part.
He wants you to get off of every bandwagon. He hates fans.
Yes.
No bandwagons. You know, it's a shame we've been talking so long, and we've got some really important business on hand. We don't have time for questions.
Oh, come on,
No, we don't have time for questions.
What is wrong with you?
I'm sorry. So we're going to go right to the more important thing.
Disrespectful.
Speaking of disrespectful, thank you for saying that, because it's a nice turn, and this might be the tonic talking. You got me a drink today. Now, we won't mention the name because we're not giving them free advertising.
That's right.
A large, well-known iced tea company makes something that's sort of like called an herbal tonic.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Which is a local New Englandism. Tonic covers everything.
That's right.
Coca-Cola. But tonic really means there's something going on.
Something going on.
And there is something going on. I'm feeling it.
Uh-oh.
I'm sweating a little bit. I'm a little amped up. So this is your fault for bringing us down this road.
I already regret it.
That's right. You created the monster, and now here we go. Because I have some problems. And again, speaking of
always have problems.
Again, my biggest one having to deal with you.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Randy Orton.
You're not going to go there.
Well, no, because it was in social media. It was people were talking about it.
Why?
Again, I monitor the things people talk to you about. Okay, I'm Big Brother.
You monitor the wrong things. You know that?
I'm like the Patriot Act incarnate when it comes to your people talking to you on Facebook.
Yeah.
So people are talking about Randy Orton. All right. So Randy Orton is this guy. For all you people who don't know, if you don't know, you're an idiot if you don't know. But if you don't know, third generation wrestler.
That's right.
Multi-time world champion.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been at the top 10 in the company for a decade, right?
Easily.
Easily a decade.
Easily.
So he's one of the name guys. So he likes going to the gym. Why not?
Oh, he has to stay in shape.
Got to stay in shape. And he's in Arkansas, right? That's where he's based out of Arkansas, maybe?
Well, they were at an event in Arkansas recently.
So he jumps out and he says, I'm going to just go do my thing. I got to go. And he's a bit of a curmudgeon. Let's just get that out of the way.
Listen,
and
that might
be an understatement.
Be careful here, okay? Because Randy Orton's a tough dude.
Yeah, okay. You just told a guy that has a black belt to come meet you and to straighten out your hatred of another wrestler. So don't tell me who not to mess with, who's a bad dude. So there's Randy Orton working out his glutes in the gym, a public gym.
Oh boy.
Was he at a Planet Fitness? Was he at a Curves? Where was he? He was he's in a public spot. He's not at a privately owned gym. He's not at a WWE sectioned off sanctioned thing. So he's in there working out in the public amongst the people, and a fan recognizes him. Now, I would never do this to somebody. I've seen celebrities out. I've worked with celebrities who have come into my work to do interviews, big name celebrities, musicians, actors. And it's cool to me to just watch these people and wow, they're real people. I would never go up and ask if there's a photo op, maybe. But even then, it's like, what's the photo going to do? I met the guy. It's a better story.
That's right.
So this fan decides, wow, it's Randy Orton, big time guy. I'm going to go ask him for his autograph. I'm going to wait for a moment. I'm going to walk over to him. So he goes and asks for an autograph. And Orton, the miserable prick that he is.
Hey.
There, I'm going to say it. We'll bleep that out after. He snarls at the guy. Snarls, teeth, and says no. So the guy says, all right, can I just do a selfie, like a quick, don't have to touch me, just, you don't have to do anything, just And he said yes. No, he didn't say yes. He said no again, and he starts yelling and swearing at the guy in public. Get the F out of here. Basically, making a scene and throwing a guy out of a public gym because he didn't want to deal with the guy getting a picture. Now, I'll agree with you, maybe that's the prerogative. Maybe. It's not right. Then he goes on social media and starts venting and denigrating the guy for having the audacity to walk up to him, his high and mighty jerk, and asking for an autograph or to take a picture. This is like Kevin Owens all over again.
Oh, my God.
This is a wrestler overstepping. Now, I want you, again, to remove your head from Vince McMahon and tell me what gives them the right to be so rude to the fans who pay their salaries.
Oh, listen, first and foremost, okay, let's get something straight here. All right. When a fan pays money to see a wrestler do their job, that's in the confines of the ring, Jack. So when a wrestler is minding their own business, they're in their personal time, whether it's at a restaurant, at the grocery store, or even in the gym. They are not obligated to sit there and play grab you-know-what with them all day, okay? the man's job is to stay in shape, so when he has to take all these slams on his neck and his back and what have you, he can protect himself. You don't interrupt somebody who's in the middle of a workout. You just don't do it.
Let me ask you this. When you just said, when they're in the ring, that's when the fans have their say.
Okay.
So explain to me how you defended Kevin Owens for making a little kid cry.
Well, Kevin Owens was walking to the ring. So
oh, I see.
Let's start there.
So now crumbles your fortress of logic, which was not very much a fortress.
Come on.
This is hubris. This is a complete and total breakdown of society.
Are you kidding me?
This is an indicator.
Are you kidding me
when
right now?
When people who are so rich and so famous have total disregard for the people who put them there. If the guy was rude to him, from all accounts we can find, the guy just went and asked for an autograph.
Did he tell the guy no the first time? So what is the guy doing taking the picture?
He asked a different
The guy took the picture.
All right.
Okay? After he told him no.
Tell me since
Think
when,
about that.
Tell me since when is it illegal to take a picture of somebody in a public space? It's not illegal.
Rude. Okay.
You want what rude is?
It's rude.
Yelling at a guy and trying to you're a big dude, a wrestler. You're going to scare a guy out of a public gym, and you're going to then denigrate him and talk crap about him online.
Well, hey,
This is like opening a door for somebody. You know why you do it? You open a door for somebody because it's the right thing to do. It's a social contract.
Are you really
to
switching
make sure
up what you said before?
Is that
what you're doing?
No, that's what to do.
Oh my God! You're a hypocrite. I just want to point that out.
No,
but look, you can't have these fans.
You
think
can't
they
even.
Can just
You're
push
trying to
people
use.
around.
You're trying
All
to
right?
use Kevin Owens to defend him when in reality you just told me that Kevin Owens can be a jerk to him anywhere.
Huh.
So what is it? Tell me what is it. So they can be a jerk. So only when they're within the confines of the ring are they allowed to respect the people, their fans.
You do not own the wrestler. The wrestler's minding his business, trying to work out, trying to get his body in shape. And I don't know, if you ever been to a gym before, pal, you know that it's tough. You got to get in the zone. You got to make sure you're focused and what have you there. The guy was interrupting him. The guy asked a question. Can I get an autograph? He said no. Then the guy was being a jerk and said, I'm going to take a picture. Hey, get the F out of here, you jerk. I'm trying to mind my business.
How about Randy Orton get the F out of there and go to his own private gym?
Are you kidding me right now?
Why not? If he doesn't want to interact with people, why go out in public? Why go out in public?
I know that you're not being serious right now because there's no way in hell that you really believe what you just said.
No. Does Vince McMahon go to a public gym? Does Vince McMahon ride the bus to work? No. You know why?
Leave Vince out of this?
No. Do you know why? Because he's got enough money. He doesn't have to deal with people. He doesn't want to answer those questions. You know what? Why doesn't Orton take a page out of that book and do and if you want to be left alone, go be alone.
So now you're gonna sit there and discriminate against Randy Orton. Now he can't go to a gym and mind his own business. Is that what it is?
He can do whatever he wants.
Own the guy now?
What, you can't talk to him? What, are we not supposed to look him in the eye?
He's minding his
absolutely
business.
unbelievable.
He's trying to work out. I'm wrapping this up here, folks.
I'm wrapping it up. No, I'm wrapping it up. It's me wrapping it up.
Sick. I'm wrapping it up. All right. Bryan Austin Knight, thanks for joining the show. Lovell Porter, I didn't appreciate you coming on the show, folks. Join us next week. I got to tell you, the Boston Bad Boys is out of his mind.
I think that Vince actually calls you and preps you on this stuff because it's unbelievable.